What up, fam? It's your boy, Boy 2024, streaming to you live. Yeah, everyone's probably wondering, do I just carry this around with me at all times? Yes, I do. I do indeed carry my little Wednesday Addams vision board around. This is like a talisman. This is a talisman to ward off evil demons. And boy, oh boy, do I have an evil demon I'm trying to rid myself. I'm trying to rid myself of the memory of this movie I watched recently. But yeah, no, I'm not here to talk about Wednesday. I've already talked enough about I could say more. I could talk more, but would you like me to talk more about Wednesday? I could do a part 2. Let's go. Wednesday is my favorite show. I can talk about that forever. I really could. What's funny to me is I'll be honest, there's not much that I've made that I'm like proud of, if that makes sense, but like the Wednesday review, like that ridiculous 80-minute long, rant or whatever you want to call it, the ravings of a mad fanboy. That's one of my more popular videos. Like the fact that I got like, let's say like 20 views. I got 20 people, like for me, it's like I got 20 people to watch an 80-minute video. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge for me, that's like a huge triumph in my opinion. Like that's a huge triumph. I'm very proud of that Wednesday review. So I just kind of like, I guess that's like my claim to fame now. I could do another, like I'm about to talk about this movie. I could do another Wednesday style review. Like I could do another 80-minute video, but I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna try and keep this under an hour because like these are every once in a blue moon. Like I don't want to do one of these all the time. It takes a lot out of me, fam. It takes a lot out of me to talk that long. But yeah, I'm holding this talisman here because I am here today to talk to you about a movie called Hurry Up Tomorrow, which stars the very same Jenna Ortega, Wednesday Addams. Oh my lord. Oh my god. I wasn't going to do a video on this, but oh my god. Holy shit. Hurry Up Tomorrow. Hurry Up Tomorrow. More like hurry up end credits, you know? You know what I mean? Hurry up end credits. That's a funnier joke than you'll hear in that movie. Oh, so okay. I remember getting trailers for this movie, and like the trailers were actually pretty intriguing. There was some pretty good visuals, pretty good cinematography. At least the person who edited the trailer together, had a good eye for the visuals. It's like, okay, I know how to like kind of add a little air of mystery to this, because it's one of those trailers where I watched it and I was like, oh, for once they didn't give away the entire plot. Like for once there's some mystery. Like I just watched a trailer for a movie, but I still don't know what the fuck it's about. Well, guess what? Guess what? There's a very, very good reason why that is. There wasn't much of a plot to spoil, it turns out. I watched the trailer. I don't know what the fucking movie's about. I just watched the movie. I don't know what the fucking movie's about. Like, I still don't know what the movie's about. What happened in this movie? I sat there for 2 hours. I still don't know what happened in this fucking movie. Oh, yeah, I heard about this movie. One of the YouTubers I follow, everyone has their like opinions about movies and stuff, and like, but one guy I kind of like really fall in line with. One guy that I feel like I agree with him on most stuff. There's this guy Penguin Z0 or Moist Critical. He goes by that name as well, but he's one of the bigger YouTubers out there. But I tend to agree with him on most stuff, and he made a video about this movie. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, okay, I have to, like, I'm changing my plans, I'm changing my priorities. I need to make this movie a priority, because he's saying that, like, and we're not even that deep into 2025, but he's already saying, oh no, this is it. Like, this is the worst movie of the year. This will be the Borderlands of this year. This will be the Madam Web of this year. Like, this is the worst movie of 2025. It'll be very hard to top. And I'm like, holy shit, really? Like, I mean, I thought the trailer looked kind of cool. It had some good music. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about it. But I was like, all right, you have my attention. I'm a bad movie connoisseur. I mean, as you know, I saw Madam Web. I saw fucking The Crow remake. Last year I had so many bad movies, man. I saw fucking, what was the other one? I already forgot it. Borderlands. Oh my god, the Borderlands movie. I saw that shit. I made an hour-long video about that shit. Yes, I agree. I have seen Hurry Up Tomorrow, and I agree. This will be a very difficult movie to top. This is the worst movie of the year. I guarantee it. And oh man, it's gonna be hard to beat. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It really is. Why is it so bad? Why is it so bad? So there is a gentleman, a performer. So his real name, I'm gonna butcher it. I don't really understand. It's like Abel Tesfaye, something like that. Abel Tesfaye. His performer name is The Weeknd, and he doesn't know how to spell because it's spelled wrong. It's missing an E, bro, missing a vowel, but whatever, I'll forgive you. The Weeknd. I've never heard of this gentleman. I guess he's pretty big right now. Yeah, so it's that classic story of like we've seen this so many times in Hollywood where like, it's the classic story of like, hey, bro, just stay in your lane, But people get like a little ambitious, like people like performers, musicians. Sometimes they're like, oh, well, maybe I can also act. Like maybe I can break out into that field too. Like we've seen wrestlers who are like, oh, well, I can be in movies too. I mean, the biggest success story for in that case would be Dwayne Johnson. He was The Rock, and then he decided to be a movie star, and that actually worked out for him. Believe it or not, worked out very well for him. But usually that's not the case. Just because you're good in one field, that doesn't necessarily mean your skills translate. And oh boy, howdy, we'll get to that. But yeah, The Weeknd, he does music, and I guess he wants to be in TV and movies and stuff. He was in a TV show. I looked him up because I didn't realize this was him. But he was in a TV show called The Idol, an HBO show by the same makers of Euphoria. I might need to watch that show at some point. Not only to further make fun of The Weeknd's bad acting, but like I've heard, and that's the show with Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter. I have heard such horrible things about this show. I've heard it's so shocking and shockingly horrible. I mean, and it's only like 5 episodes long, but people say it's like unimaginable horrors await you if you watch The Idol on HBO. And I'm like, okay, like what is this show? Like, all right, maybe that could be a video. Sometimes I hear about things I'm like, oh, that could be a video. That could definitely be a video. Oh my God, yeah, I it can't be worse than this, or maybe it can. It's The Weeknd again. But yeah, hurry up tomorrow. Yeah, hurry up with this review. I know. Hurry up with this review. Hurry up tomorrow. So that is the title of The Weeknd's latest album. And in order to promote the latest album, which is called Hurry Up Tomorrow, The Weeknd also made a film to go along with it called Hurry Up Tomorrow. Oh boy. Yes. So here's the thing, bro. And people have done things like this in the past where you can make like a big, what he really should have done, and like he obviously has like a guy working for him who has a really good eye for the camera. Like there's some really good cinematography, some really good shots in this movie. I particularly like the shot where like he's kind of freaking out, and you see like this. It's in the trailer. You look up the trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. But like there's a shot of like the city flipped upside down, and he's like going through the city. Like it's some really cool visuals. It makes you feel like you're losing your mind, which that's like kind of this whole movie is like, it feels like a bad drug trip. So we've seen this before where musicians, performers try to get into acting, and it rarely goes well. It's usually like an infamous bomb, such as Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, such as Vanilla Ice's Cool as Ice. Cool as Ice, I'm gonna like, okay, so I kind of do love this movie, but like not for the right reasons. That's why I do think this movie will be like a future cult classic, in the vein of like something like The Room, or in the vein of something like Cool as Ice. I love that movie. I watch that movie at least once a year. It's bad. It's very, very bad. Vanilla Ice cannot act, and his music isn't even that good. But yeah, he cannot carry a film, and that's where we're at with the Weeknd's awful acting. He's a I've never heard of this dude. What's funny is I'm gonna look him up further after this, but like, yeah, I mean, at least like this movie is just like a really thinly veiled 2-hour advertisement for his new album. We get to listen to his whole album in this movie. I'll get to that, but and I mean that literally. Like we literally listened to his album. But yeah, his music from what I've seen, I hadn't really heard of this dude until today, until I saw the movie. And I never had heard his music before, but like, yeah, you listening to it in the movie, I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of a bop. Like this is something I can vibe to. Like this isn't bad. Like I do like his music. He has a really good singing voice, but like, yeah, not to bring up the specter of Snow White, but like, yeah, I'm gonna use this talisman to ward off that movie as well. But Snow White was kind of a movie formed around the fact that like, oh, well, Rachel Ziegler's like a Broadway performer. She has like a really good singing voice. We'll just like kind of form a movie around that. and you can't. You need more than just main actor has good singing voice, and that's where we're at with Hurry Up Tomorrow. The Weeknd has a good singing voice. You need more than that to make a movie, bro. Sorry, you need a lot more, and you find out that how much more you need when you watch this horrible fucking fucking movie. Oh my lord. Yeah, Jenna Ortega. She is in this movie. That's what I'm so curious about. Where it's like, again, going back to like Madam Web. Okay, like that was a career-ending movie. Like the main girl from that movie, I forget her name, but like she's done. She's done. Like that movie was a bomb. Everyone lost money. Everyone's careers were ruined. Sydney Sweeney was in that movie, and she was able to kind of like sidestep the fallout of that movie. Like she's doing fine. I don't think her career has been really hurt at all by that movie, but she was like really well established before that, and people really love her. So, and she was a minor character in Madam Web. It's not like her face was all over the posters and shit. Jenna Ortega, I'm very curious what the fallout of this will be, because this was a huge bomb. This was a disaster, and she's a major character. Like she's all over the marketing for this movie. She's on like all of the posters and shit. I mean, she's not the lead star. That would be The Weeknd, but like she's in this movie. And, you know, she hasn't had a ton of successes. Like, she's very popular right now. I would say mainly because of this show, Wednesday. She has this show under her belt. And that's coming soon. Like, season 2 comes out this summer in, like, August, I think. So, like, that will be good for her. That'll be, like, really good for her career. But, like, as far as the movie side of things, though, I don't know. Before I watched Wednesday, I never really thought much of her, to be honest. Like, I knew about her. I thought she was like okay. Everything I saw her in, I thought she was like okay. Like I saw her in Scream, I thought she was okay. I never really thought too much of her. And again, like as far as her recent movies, like this obviously bombed. I was checking the box office. It was a $15 million budget for Hurry Up Tomorrow. So far, it's only made about $5 million. It's only made about a third of its budget, which is yikes, not good. And her previous movie that came out this year, Jenna had a movie called Death of a Unicorn. And which I kind of liked. I didn't think it was bad. The A24 movie she did, but that like I was checking the box office, that didn't do great. That like barely broke even. So the funny thing is, and you would never think it, but as far as the movie side of things, because Jenna is so much more popular than her co-star Emma Myers. But right now, Emma Myers, I would say, is doing better on the movie front. Like she's like Emma's movie this year, Minecraft, blew up. That made $1 billion. And she is the female lead. She is on all the posters. She's the female lead in Minecraft. I feel like studio execs are going to be looking at her for their next movie. You know what I mean? Like, because it's between her. Jenna Ortega. Like, what was she in recently? Oh, Hurry Up Tomorrow. That infamous bomb. Ooh, you know. I don't know. I mean, I wish her the best. I hope Jenna survives the fallout of this disaster. But I do feel like this movie will damage her career at least a little bit. Maybe Wednesday season 2 will blow up, and then people will just kind of forget about that horrible movie she made. But like, you know, she was in. But like, I don't know. I really don't know. Only time will tell. But yes, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Okay, so hurry up with this review. Okay, so The Weeknd. It begins. And it like right away. It just this is not like no one knew how to make a movie. No one who made this movie knew how to make a movie, because I kid you not, like I was thinking of like you remember, like this is a deep cut, but like you remember in High School Musical how Sharpay and her friends they're like warming up to perform, right, and they have to do that thing where they're like, you know, warming up with their lips, or they're like, you know, they're doing that. This movie opens with The Weeknd, you know, warming up for his show, which is fine. Like, there's a way to do that, but the way it opens up is he's facing the camera, he's facing the mirror, which is the camera in this case, and he's doing his, you know, vocal exercises, but he's literally blowing raspberries at the camera. He's going, and he looks so goofy, and they do this really weird effect where it like slows it down, so his lips are like vibrating in slow motion and not matching the sounds he's making. And this shit goes on. It's like, maybe you do like a quick cut of that. This shit goes on for like 2 minutes. He's just like, you know, you walk into this movie and like that's the first thing you see. I understand why people walked out, and people did walk out of this movie. People fucking walked out of this movie, dude. Okay, so I walk into this theater. By the way, I saw this shit opening, because I know with like bombs like this, you gotta see this shit right away, because it's gonna leave theaters soon. I knew this shit would bomb. So I see this opening weekend. I see this on a fucking Saturday night, opening weekend. There are, ready, There, counting me, there are 5 people in the fucking theater. 5. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like waiting. I'm like, well, it's just still previews. Like maybe more people are gonna file in as the movie starts. No, just 5. So yeah, he does his dumb vocal exercises and then he like gets on stage and starts singing. And the first song he did, it's funny because like, you know, I don't know what the fuck to expect. I've never heard this guy's music before. He plays this song. This is like the main power title. This is it's called "Wake Me Up," and I've listened to it since then. Like, it is a good song. Like I like it. It's kind of like hypnotic and dark and moody and like has this air of mystery, which I think the whole movie was going for. So this was a good, like that was one good decision. They picked this particular song as like the main ballad of the movie. That was a good decision. Nothing else was a good decision in this movie, but like that was like the one good decision they made. Oh my lord. Wake me up. Wake me up. Okay. So, what else? Okay. So and honestly the song, it really, I'm not, you know, I don't listen to a ton of music, so like you'll have to forgive me if like, you know, but like it really sounded like a Michael Jackson song to me. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like Thriller, like a little bit. And I feel like, you know, people who know more about music can correct me in the chat, but like I feel like maybe he sampled some Michael Jackson music. Is that like, that's like a thing you can do, I think. Like didn't Vanilla Ice do that? Vanilla Ice did, like, he sampled like Queen's music for his Ice Ice Baby or something, you know. That's like a thing you can do, right? Where it's like, I forget the rules, but like you can sample like so much, like so many seconds of another song before it becomes illegal or something, you know, or before it becomes plagiarism. I don't know. I don't know the rule. I don't know much about music, to be honest with you, but like that's what it felt like. It felt like he sampled like 5 seconds of like Michael Jackson's Thriller or something. But like, I mean, I like Michael Jackson's music, so like that was like, okay. I don't know, you know, I don't know you, but like, okay, you got a good beat, you know, like this is kind of like a good vibe. I like your music, like let's go. And he has like a beautiful singing voice, so like let's go. And like I'm getting into like literally, that's part of the problem is like we're following this dude and his like whatever his music career. So a lot of this movie is just like watching him perform, like watching his concerts, and like that's, you know, if you're a fan of Abel, then you will enjoy that. If you're not a fan of his music, then what the hell are you doing? You know, what are you doing here? But what's funny is like, so the first performance happens and the couple in front of me get up and like the guy said something, he was just kind of like, nah, he just made this like sound of disapproval, and they got up and left, and I thought they were going to the bathroom or something, and then they just never came back. And this is only like 5 or 10 minutes into the movie, and they just, you know, you're not getting a refund back, bro. Like once the movie starts, you're not, you know, I knew he wasn't going to get a refund, but they just left. They didn't come back. And then there were 3, as Agatha Christie would say, and then there were 3, including your boy. And I was like, oh my god! And I thought that was a good scene. Like I thought the concert was like kind of a good scene, but you know, whatever. not for them. So yeah, again, $5 million budget, $5 million box office, $15 million budget. Yeah, I believe it. No one fucking saw this movie. This movie had such bad PR, bad word of mouth, bad reviews. I think it had, well, it was at, when Moist Critical reviewed it, it was at a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very impressive. I think it's gone up since then to like a 15%, but it's still very, very low, like way too low. Oh my god. Okay. So what else? Okay, I gotta rewind a little bit before the big performance, because this was so weird too. When he's like getting ready for the concert, because like I watched the trailer and I remember having this thought. I'm like, I can't tell, like, what is this about, a musician or is this about a singer? But he also looks like a boxer, because I swear to God he's like wearing that like hooded robe that the boxers wear like when they first get into the ring. And there's definitely a part where he's like working out and like literally punching, like with boxing gloves. He's like punching this punching bag or punching like, and then, yeah, I was right. Like, you know, in the first scene of the movie, he's getting ready for his performance and he's like wearing the robe, and his trainer, or not, I said trainer, his manager is wearing like the pads on his stomach, and The Weeknd is just like punching him with boxing gloves. And I'm like, oh, like maybe I got it wrong. Like maybe he is a boxer, or he's both. He's a boxer and a singer. No, he's not a. I don't know what that was. Does anyone know what that was? Can someone explain that to me? Is that like his theme, that he like pretends to be a boxer, or like his like he walks out on his stage during his concerts dressed like a boxer? Like I didn't get it, but he was like boxing in that one moment. Whatever. So yeah, there's The Weeknd, his manager. There are very few characters in this movie. Like basically, it's just The Weeknd, his manager, Jenna Ortega. That's basically it. The manager is played by Barry Keoghan, who I don't know. This gentleman, he was in Eternals, which I still haven't seen. I kind of don't want to see that movie. He was in Saltburn, a very disturbing, dark movie, which kind of is in line with this movie, to be honest. Barry Keoghan, yeah, because of that movie at least, where he was like obsessively in love with this other guy. I just every time I see him, he always feels like he's like eyeing up the other person. Like he's just like he like wants to bang the other person. You know, like I every time he looks at The Weeknd, I feel like he's like looking at him like he's about to pounce or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like. And that doesn't happen in this movie, but like he definitely gave off of like vibes of like, I don't know, he has like inappropriate intentions or something. I don't know. This he just always gave me a bad vibe. But yeah, like I don't know. And we'll get to Jenna Ortega. Like she's a whole thing too. That's like all these characters suck. Like nobody is likable. Nobody is relatable or likable. And you can do that type of story, but like I don't know, it's difficult, and there needs to be an arc, there needs to be something, there needs to be growth, there needs to be like a lesson learned, because I can't follow this man baby crying and screaming and trying to act for 2 hours, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just that I was hoping there's like an arc. There's not. It's just this. And what I heard about the Weeknd in The Idol is a similar thing. Like, oh, he's just an ass. He's just a bad person. Like, there's no, growth. He's just a bad guy in The Idol. And I'm like, okay, that's not interesting. And the main girl in that show is just a bitch. Like, that's it. There's no growth. And I'm like, okay, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, I mean, so I hesitate to call it the conflict or the drama of the movie. There has to be some kind of conflict or plot or drama of the movie, right? I don't know what it is, but I guess one conflict is that Abel is Abel is not able to sing anymore. Abel is having difficulty singing. He's at a show, and he's like under a lot of pressure, and he's dealing with a lot of shit, and he basically is at a show and doesn't want to perform. And he's losing his voice. He's basically like losing his voice. He's losing, which I get it. Like that's like his bread and butter. That's his main talent. It's scary to like, oh shit, the one thing I'm good at, I might lose that. If the movie had like grappled with that a little better, a little more focus and sympathy, maybe this could have been something, but it's not. But he goes to the doctor. The doctor basically says like, yeah, it's basically caused by stress, but you should really rest. You should kind of like take it easy. And because you're gonna wear out your vocal cords or something, and the manager's there for that. He hears all of that, and the manager constantly contradicts himself, because on the plane, I remember there's a scene on the plane where he's like, yeah, bro, like you heard what the doctor said, like you this is the manager. He's like, you gotta relax, bro. Just take a chill pill. Okay, so sometimes he says that, and on that same plane ride, there's a. Like they make a big deal, and this never goes anywhere. But Barry Keoghan is like, oh, like let me relax you, like let me make you this special cocktail, and you see him like pour all this shit into a glass, and The Weeknd doesn't want to drink. He's like, no, and the manager's like really pushing, like you should really drink this, you should really relax, and we don't know what he put in there, and I'm like, that's where I was always like, oh, is he like drugging The Weeknd this whole time, or manipulating him or something with drugs. The Weeknd definitely is drugged out most of the movie. Like he's always drinking or snorting cocaine or doing something that he shouldn't be, and it's like he's always like half baked or half drunk out of his mind. So that's fun. You get to see him get drunk and cry a lot. That's always fun. But yeah, his manager seems to have his best interest at heart, but not really, because like. They're at the concert, and The Weeknd doesn't want to go on and perform, and the manager's like really pushing him, and this is like this movie is so up its own ass, like it's so pretentious, and it's so narcissistic is the word, because I know The Weeknd, he stars in it, and he also wrote the script. I know he had a hand in writing the script, and he plays him. Did I mention he plays himself? It's not like he plays a character similar to who he is in real life. Like, no, he literally plays Abel. He plays The Weeknd, and he performs his music. Not that would at least be kind of interesting if it's like, oh, well, he plays like a fake musician character, and he like made up like new songs for this movie, not The Weeknd songs. You know what I mean? But like, no, he just performs like his greatest hits. So that's he's literally like a self-insert in a fanfic is what this is basically. But yeah, like it's so cringe. It's so cringe because he has lines of dialogue that that he wrote, where other characters tell him how great he is, or how important he is, or how amazing his lyrics are, or how important his music is, or whatever. And it's just like ego-stroking, narcissistic bullshit. But like, anyway, this is what I'm getting to. But like, yeah. So he doesn't want to go on perform because he's sad about his girlfriend breaking up with him or whatever. And the manager won't have any of it. He's like, no, you have to go. You have to go on stage. And it's like, well, he really doesn't. And like, you were there too when the doctor said he needed to take it easy, or else he might ruin his voice forever. Like, you were there too, manager man. Do your job, sir. Aren't you supposed to be taking care of The Weeknd? But yeah, Barry Keoghan, he like runs to the stage. He opens the door. He's like, do you hear that? Do you hear those people screaming your name, cheering for you? Because Abel wants to cancel the concert, and honestly, he should have. But the manager's like, no, like, do you hear those people? Like, you are their hero. You are a god to those people. You are invincible to those people. You can't show weakness. Those people look up to you. You have changed so many lives. Like, and I'm like, oh my god, bro, I've never even heard of this fucking guy. Like, come on, get over yourself. Like, Jesus Christ. Just can't. Performers do that all the time. They cancel shows all the time. They cancel concerts all the time. Just cancel the show. Just cancel the show. Oh my god. Oh, the elements. I'm gonna take cover. I'm gonna take cover, fam. The elements are attacking me. But yeah, like, it's like, just cancel the fucking show. But like, he won't do, like, the manager won't allow him. So he goes on stage and he's performing the same song again, Wake Me Up. And it seems like it's going well at first. But yeah, I guess he pushed himself too hard, and his voice gets shot, and he can't continue singing anymore. And that's it. And we all saw it coming. But like, the asshole manager who pushed him too hard, he's all like, oh, what an unforeseen event. Like, I had no idea this would happen. So he's not really he's one of those people, he like acts like he's your friend, but he's only out for himself. And there's even like a line of dialogue. Again, I wish they went more into his character, but everyone is very surface level. No one really gets any depth or added complexity. But there's like a quick line where his manager is like, oh, like, I was nothing off this. I was just a ruffian off the streets when I met you, but you turned my life around, and I became your manager, and I became a success because of you. It's all thanks to you, but but I'm nothing without you. If they played it so that it's more like, oh, like he needs The Weeknd to sing. It's all about him. Like the manager's the puppet master. He's been, giving him that special cocktail and drugging him and like manipulating him because he needs him to sing so that he can make his money. And if there was like a subplot where like, or a twist where like the manager has been like trying to cut The Weeknd out of royalties, or he's been trying to steal his music rights, or whatever away from him. None of that shit happens. So it's like, okay, but like that could have been interesting. I don't know. But yeah, so the reason he's like crying and throwing a hissy fit for 2 hours. So The Weeknd and his girlfriend broke up. She dumped him, and she left him an angry voicemail that he listens to all the time, where she's like, you should be ashamed. You're a horrible person, and you said and did horrible things to me, and your mother would be ashamed of you, blah blah blah. And that's really all we get. Considering how long we dwell on this topic, I would like some more information. I really would. We never get to see the girlfriend. We never get like, say, like a flashback. It's hard to get invested when we don't know anything, when we have no context. He just seems like a fucking whiny baby who is also kind of a creeper and stalker and won't leave his ex-girlfriend alone, because he constantly calls her. He's always calling her, and she won't pick up. I wonder why. And then he's like, then he asks his manager. He like kind of bullies his manager into calling her for him. and so the harassment just keeps going on and on, and I don't know why. Like this is a thing that would be solved for so many characters. Like no one knows how to block someone's number, I guess, because everyone's always like calling people that won't answer, that don't want to take their call, and it's like, well, just block the number, and then they I don't know. But yeah, the Weeknd's ex-girlfriend is dodging him. He's dodging people. Jenna Ortega is dodging her mother. We'll get to that in a second. But like everyone's dodging everyone, and it's like no one has like the ability to block phone numbers. Apparently, I don't know. They're just getting hundreds of calls every day that they're not taking for some reason. Anyway, but yeah. I mean, I'd like to know more. I'd like to know more about the situation. I mean, I wouldn't, but it's one of those, like you know how in like The Room, for example, Johnny and Lisa's marital problems we were kind of held hostage for 2 hours. Like those are our problems now. Like we have no choice. We have to watch these two argue and have their marital problems and relationship problems, and we have no choice because that's what this movie is, and we're kind of forced into this drama. That's where we're at with Hurry Up Tomorrow, where it's like I don't really care about The Weeknd's problems. But, like, I have to, because that's what this movie is, and I'm forced into this chair for 2 hours, and, like, that's all this movie is, apparently, is him crying and bitching and moaning and whining and freaking out and flipping out over his ex-girlfriend who won't take his calls. Why won't she take my calls? And I was like, well, bro, you know, you called her 100 times, and then when you hear some of the voicemails he left her, yeah, no shit, she's not picking up the phone, you know. It's like, he's not even smart about it, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know, I'm not condoning, like, you know, harassing your ex or like calling her incessantly, but I'm just saying that there's a smart way to do it, and there's like a dumb way to do it, and he's doing like the dumb way. If you want her to take your call, or if you want her to like listen to what you have to say, there's a way, you know, you can leave a voicemail. I don't know, saying something like, hey, we never even learn her name, but like, hey Becky or whatever, hey Becky, I'm sorry for what I said before. I was, you know, drunk and I was so out of line. I've sobered up, and I've thought of a few things that I wanted to say to you that I forgot to say. So if you have the time, I'd really like 5 minutes to just kind of, you know, say my piece, and then we can go our separate ways. You know, something like that. If you got a voicemail like that, that sounds rational, you know, rational, reasonable. I just made up a word, rational. Rational, reasonable, you know, reasonable. Like, she'd probably respond pretty well to that. Instead, you hear some of the voicemails he leaves her. Like before he goes on stage, he calls her, and he's, you know, again coked up and drunk. So that's always a good, you know, like why doesn't the manager just take his phone away? Like seriously, like do your job. Like he is a danger to himself and others. Like take his phone away at the very. He's not responsible right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, he has his phone, and he calls the girlfriend again, and he leaves her a voicemail. He's like, you bitch, like, you know, you think you won, but you didn't win. Like, I'm still here, I'm still alive. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, he's like, you how could you say those things to me? You know? And he's like, you know, I you know what, I win, bitch, because, you know, I'm a legend, and I am a superstar, and my words and lyrics will live on forever, and you're a nobody. You'll fucking die, and no one will remember you. Like, you're just a no one. You're nobody. That's the voicemail he left her, and it's like, yeah, I wonder why she's not taking your calls, asshole. Like, would you? And again, yeah, he kind of sounds like a selfish, egotistical prick. He kind of sounds like a huge asshole. I can't think of why she would have broken up with him. You know, and it's like, I would love to see the context. I would love to see, you know, it would help if I saw these people in love at one point, and then we see why they had the falling out, why she broke up with him, etc. But we don't see that context. So instead, we just see this, and it's not a good look for him. He definitely has like the look of the bad guy here, and he's our main character, and I'm supposed to sympathize with him, but I can't. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like we've all had that friend who just starts telling a story. But like the friend, you know, the friend is like, I know, you know, Tammy and Becky, and he just starts talking like, well, Tammy said this to Becky, and Becky said, and he just like starts going off. It's like, well, bro, just because you know who they are, like, I don't know who these people are. Like, you just told me the story with no context. Like, I don't know who any of these people are. You need to fill me in. You know what I mean? That's how this movie is, where it's like the Weeknd knows what happened with his girlfriend, but he's not like letting us in. He's not gonna like tell us what happened. So it's like, okay, well, you know, then stop talking about it. Either tell me what happened or stop talking about it, because this is annoying. That's the best. You know, if I had to describe this movie with one word, it's annoying. If I'm allowed to use two words, I'd say it's pretentious. It's pretentious and it's annoying. And that's it. There's nothing good about this movie. It's awful. It's so fucking awful and so full of itself, and it takes itself so seriously, and it's so unintentionally funny. We'll get to that. There's some like really funny parts, like, you know, and like I was having a good time making fun of the movie. You know, like, again, the same way I view like The Room or Birdemic or something. But like, yeah, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but like I would compare. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would compare this, you know, disfavorably to The Room. At least in The Room, like yeah, there's a lot you can say about The Room, but like we know what's going on. We know who these people are. We know why people are upset. We know why they're fighting. Like we see everything. We see Johnny's, you know, bride-to-be cheat on him with his best friend. You know, it's a huge betrayal. Like we see how Lisa treats Johnny like shit. We see that why they break up. We see that. We get it. We have the context. Okay. It helps. It really does. It helps to know what the fuck's going on. It helps to know who these people are. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I think The Room has a point over this movie in that regard, because I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why. I mean, I never saw. And in The Room, we had a couple scenes of Johnny and Lisa, you know, quote unquote, in love, making love, you know, being together, being happy. And so that's why we want to root for them, because we saw the good times. We want them to get back together, right? That's the idea. But we never saw that with The Weeknd, so we don't know why he's harassing this woman, and we don't really have any investment in it. You know what I mean? I don't have any investment to see them get together again. And the only thing, and it was like a brief text. I think I might be making this up, but I think she has a baby now. And like maybe that's like I thought I saw a quick little picture of her with a baby or something, and so maybe that's like, oh, like that's why he's like, you know, that could be a conflict. That could be like, oh, like, you know, you had a baby, is it mine? You know, if that's my son, like I want to see him, like I'm the father, like I have rights, you know, like that's a conflict. That's something, but I just might have made that up. Like I don't know, that might not be the case at all. That might not be. I don't know. We don't know. just tell us what happened, man. And that's where this is so awkward, because it's like, it's obviously The Weeknd playing himself. Which, by the way, like if this was like an attempt to like make us feel bad for him or sympathize with, like, or paint himself in a good light, Jesus Christ, or like if this is like based on his real, because apparently I do know the incident. I looked this up. The incident where he lost his voice on stage at a concert, that's real. That is something that really happened. Like his manager pushing him too hard on stage to go on stage, and he lost his voice in a performance. Like that happened. So is all of this based on real life? Because I hope not. Jesus Christ, I hope not. I hope he doesn't like harass his ex-girlfriends like this. Like that's bad. That's bad. But yeah. So this is so weird. Like, so the girlfriend's voiced by Riley Keough. I don't know how to say her last name. She was from that A24 movie At Zola, but interestingly, in the credits I saw, so she voices the ex-girlfriend. She also voices Jenna Ortega's mother, but I'm like, are they the same person? Are they supposed to be the same character? That would be one hell of a twist. But no, because it's like, you know, the credits are like Riley Keough voiced, you know, ex-girlfriend. You know, Abel's ex-girlfriend, and she voiced Anima's mother, you know, so it's like, it's two different roles. It's not like those were the same person or implied to be, like, they're two different roles. So, anyway, I don't know why, there must be a reason for that. Like, why not hire two different women, or maybe was it a budgetary thing, like, these are two small roles, just to have the same woman, you know, she never appears on camera anyway, just have her voice both. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, if I hadn't seen that in the credits, I wouldn't have known that it was the same person voicing those two voices, so fair enough. But yeah, Jenna Ortega, Jesus Christ, this movie is so bad. So Jenna Ortega, her whole thing is, so she's like kind of a crazy fangirl for Abel, okay? And again, that goes into like kind of the narcissism that Abel thinks like these, you know, I mean, I'm sure he's fairly big, so I'm sure there are girls that are obsessed with him or his music or whatever, but anyway. So Jenna Ortega, the first thing we see with her is we see her burning down a house. And like that's it. She covers it in gasoline, she lights the match, she burns the house down, she drives away. And then she drives to Abel's concert. And she sneaks into the concert. And he's performing his song, and they do this stupid thing where like his words are so true, his music is so powerful and true that she is brought to tears. And again, knowing that Abel wrote this scene, like he's just jerking himself off. Like he's just like, oh yeah, I'm so beautiful. Like my music is so beautiful and powerful that it drives this young woman to tears. It's just like, oh God, get over yourself, bro. But yeah, she cries like the single Hollywood tear down her cheek, and he like this is how they meet. He's performing. And in a crowd stadium of like maybe millions of people or at least thousands of people, he sees this one girl crying at his song, and like they have a moment where they lock eyes. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. And to be fair, like that again, the one thing I'll praise in this movie is the cinematography. Whoever was like the director of photography, A+. Like that whole concert scene is beautifully filmed, and that shot where like Jenna is crying. And like the look on her face, and like the lights, the camera lights reflected in her eyes when she's crying, the scene is beautifully staged and filmed. I will say that. It's a very good looking film, but that's all I will give it. It's not a good movie. Good visuals does not equal a good movie. If that were the case, then Prometheus would be a great movie, and that's a whole other. Prometheus is a very good looking movie. Oh my God. But yeah, this I mean, so I'll say this. I'll say that over like Madam Web or Borderlands, which had such low production value. Those felt like fucking TV movies at times. Whereas, yeah, no, Hurry Up Tomorrow always felt like a movie. Like it looks like a movie. It has very, very good visuals. That's one thing I'll say about it. But anyway. So Jenna? So she doesn't have any money. She snuck into the concert. I thought there would be like, because these tickets are hundreds of dollars, right? I've never been to one of these live events, but like, I assume the security is pretty tight because they want you to pay that $100. They don't want you to sneak in because they want you to pay that $100 ticket. But she sneaks in pretty, much no problem. So she goes to the concert. They lock eyes. And then he loses his voice on stage, and he like leaves in a huff. And like his manager was basically his one friend, but like he betrayed him. Like he's like, yeah, no, fuck you. Like you're the one that pushed me to go on stage, and you're the reason I lost my voice. Fuck you. And so he like runs off. He like storms off or whatever. And while he's storming off, Jenna, she sneaks past security. Like she sneaks, backstage. And the way she does it is kind of clever, where like there's like a bunch of people, and the one guy's like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here," and she's like, "Well, this guy just like grabbed me or touched me," and then so the guard starts yelling at that guy, and while he's doing that, she just runs backstage, and then she like it just so happened that she got very lucky here. It just so happens she like runs into Abel as he's like trying to escape backstage, and they lock eyes again, and the guard runs over, and Abel's like, "No, like she's cool, she's with me," and I'm like. Really? Like you don't know this person at all, bro. She could be crazy. She could be trying to do you harm. And wouldn't you, plot twist, like, wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what's going on. But, like, he didn't know that at the time. Well, he didn't know anything. He didn't know this person at all. He just instantly trusted her because she cried at his song, or because she was wearing the low cut. She wasn't wearing the low cut top yet. We'll get to that later. But, like, okay, he was, like, whatever, seduced by her and the low cut top and the big eyes and the crying Oh my God! Okay, so that worked out really well for her. But like, what was Jenna's plan? Like, what was her plan though? Because her plan was so bad: sneak into concert, which you might not be able to do; sneak backstage, which you really might not be able to do; and then somehow bump into Abel, and then get him to take you with him. Like what was the plan? Well, it worked out perfectly. So there you go. I guess it didn't need to be that well thought out. Anyway, yeah, so the two of them, they go on like a date, and and they're dodging the security, and they're dodging like his manager is trying to track him down, and they play air hockey. They go to the arcade. They go to like this weird freak show with the guy blowing fire and the guy who can like contort his limbs and stuff. That montage was purely for the trailer, because in the trailer it's scary. And, like, there's, like, people popping out at you, like, twisting their limbs and breathing fire. Because the trailer tries to make it seem like a horror movie at times. I know that scene was... Because it doesn't go anywhere. Like, why would they go to that? Like, it's so random in the movie. When you see it in the movie, it's so random. But, like, that was purely for the trailer. Because it looked like a cool shot to put in the trailer. I know it. I know that a bunch of these scenes were just cool things to put in the trailer. And that will come back later. We'll get to that. But yeah, so they go on their date, and that was like the one sequence that I kind of liked, where I'm like, okay, unlike him and his ex, who we have no context for, at least we see him and Jenna having a good time, kind of falling in love or whatever, or flirting, at least flirting. And I always, I always have to sprinkle in my little Shakespeare references here, but like Abel definitely reminded me of like your boy. Think of your boy Romeo and Romeo and Juliet. Remember how Romeo was such a whiny little bitch about Rosaline, and then and like he couldn't get over her. She was like everything, and she broke his heart, and blah blah blah. And then the second Juliet comes, the second he sees Juliet, he's like, oh, instantly over. Oh, I thought you were heartbroken. Oh no, instantly over. New girl. All it took was a new pretty girl, and that's what just happened with Abel. I thought he keeps saying how like his world is ruined, his life is over without this girl, who he never even mentions by name. But now he met Jenna Ortega, and so everything's good. Like, it's like, oh, okay, it was that simple. It was really that simple. Don't you are a fucking huge pop star. Don't you meet beautiful girls all the time? All it took was like a pretty face, and you're just like over the ex. Okay. Oh wow, that was really easy. Anyway, but they do have some good chemistry. They do have a few good scenes together. They go back to his hotel room, and they end up sleeping together. And he performs a song for her. This was a very unintentionally funny moment that I really enjoyed, where he's like, oh well, and she's like, well, why don't you play something for me or sing something for me? And he's like, oh okay, well I've been like working on this little ditty, and he like pulls out a piece of paper and he like sings a part of a song. And once again, she just starts like tearing up and like crying, and she's just so moved, and she's like, "Oh!" And his reaction is so funny because he's like, "Whoa, it's still a work in progress. Like I can do better. I can do better." he thought she was crying because it was so bad. He's like, "No, I'm sorry. I can do better. I swear. I'm working on it." And she's like, no, it's so beautiful. Your words are so true. Your words are so passionate and powerful and true. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I know he wrote that dialogue too. Get over yourself, bro. You're so horrible. You are not God's gift to music that you think you are. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. So yeah, they connect, and okay, so. Yeah, so Jenna relates to like the whole themes of like loneliness and abandonment in his songs. Let's talk about Jenna. So at first, and she could have been the one sympathetic character, because at first she's the only she's the only person who like, she kind of stuck into the show, and that's not cool, and then she kind of forced her way into his life, and that's not cool either. But like she does genuinely seem to care about him, and she seems like a good person. And the way it was framed, we could have just been like, oh, she's just a victim of him, of how he poorly treats women. That could have been what that. But no. We need to learn more about Jenna. So remember how she burned down that house? Okay, stay with me. So Jenna Ortega talks about how her father passed away, and it really shook her, but it also shook her mother. And she basically phrases it like, well, yeah, mom kind of fell apart, and I couldn't really deal with it. Like, she was hard to be around. So instead of, supporting your mother, who lost her husband, you basically abandoned her. Okay, bitch. And then she's like, well, I needed to, like, start a new life. So I needed to burn all of my bridges. So that's why I burned down this house. And the reason her mother's been obsessively calling her is, that'd be one thing. Like, oh, that's kind of like a dramatic statement. Oh, you need to burn down your house because you're starting over. Her mother still lived in that fucking house. You asshole. Another person lived there. You just burned down her house. So not only did you not support your mother in her time of need, you also just made your mother homeless. Oh, great. And you drove off with the car. I'm sure that you only had the one car. You guys didn't seem like a very wealthy family. So you just stole your mom's car, burned down her house, left her completely, up shit's creek. Yeah, like, no wonder she's calling you every day, and she's just like, and the way she responds, she's like, oh, it's mom again. Like, she just keeps calling me. Oh God, what a drag. Why can't you just leave me alone? Let me live my life. I'm just like, well, you just like ruined her life. Like, so Jenna's not very. I think the rain stopped. I'm gonna return to my bench. Jenna's not very likable either. Jenna's kind of a horrible person too. They're all horrible people. I hate everyone. I hate everyone in this movie. I hate Abel most of all because he's so full of himself. I could never hate you forever, Jenna. Like, Jenna, you made Wednesday. You made it one of my favorite shows. But in this movie, I do hate you. I hate you quite a bit. So anyway, what happens? Okay, so yeah, so they Oh god, it's already 50 minutes. Yeah, this is gonna be another long one. I mean, screw it. This movie's so fucking horrible. I need to talk about it. I need to go into detail. I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah. So Jenna and Abel have like a big argument the next morning because they slept together and everything. And she makes a good point where she's like, the previous night he's like, thinking about his ex. He crawls in her lap and he's like crying into her lap and he's like, please don't leave me. Please promise you'll never leave me. So then the next morning he tries to ditch her, and she's just like, yeah, you're really sending some mixed signals there, buddy. Like, what the hell is that about? But yeah, they wake up and they have like breakfast together. It all seems okay at first, but like he's getting calls, like everyone's wondering where he is. And she's, she it's not like he doesn't know her. Like, she explains her situation to him very clearly. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm pretty much homeless. I'm so glad you found me and took me in, blah, blah, blah. And he's starting to get like, I thought this, he clearly thought this was just like a one night stand. And she's like, it's one of those, like, he clearly thought, like, hoped or thought she'd be gone in the morning and she's not. And he's kind of like, ooh, what do I do? So they're like eating and he's just kind of ignoring her and looking at his phone, and she's like not getting her phone, and she's like keeps trying to basically ask him like, okay, so what next, like what are we doing? And he's like, well, I need to go to the doctor and I need to answer my phone and I need to continue my tour, and yeah. and she's like, very unsettledly, she's like, well, I don't really have a home to go back to, and yeah, and like, I'm so glad I ran into you. And he's like, he's like, well, yeah, I guess I have to go back on tour. And he's like, I can't remember where that is. He obviously does, but she's like, oh, I think it's Australia. And he's like, yeah, I think it is Australia. And then she, not so subtly, is like, I've always wanted to go to Australia. And he's like, oh, he's not really taking the hint. And he's like, Abel's like, oh, well, you should go there one day. And it's like, fucking asshole. Yeah, no one can fucking go to Australia. Yeah, most people can't just afford to go to Australia, bro. She's saying she wants to go on tour with you. And I don't know why he doesn't just, like, obviously she was the one thing that, like, was able to make him forget his ex-girlfriend. So, like, why not? Why not just bring, I guess he just got kind of annoyed by her. I don't know. He seemed to really like her last night. But yeah, he's like instantly over her. He's such a likable human being. Like, he's just like instantly over her. He had sex with her, now he's done with her. Go away. Basically, that's what he's like now. And he's like, they get into this fight, and this was another like unintentionally hilarious moment where it doesn't help that, like, because Abel, again, he has beautiful, like, voice of an angel, beautiful singing voice. He hits those high notes so well. But it doesn't help when he's trying to act. When he's trying to act tough. When he's trying to, like, be dramatic and act tough. And his voice is so high pitched, and it's just, it doesn't work. You can't do it. You can't do it, Abel. Don't. But yeah, they have an argument, and this is like a viral clip that you can easily find on YouTube. Like, this is a viral clip that's been going around quite a bit. But she's like, freaking out. She's like, why would you say, why are you rooting this for me? Like, why would you say to never let you go, and now you're trying to tell me to leave and end this, like, after one night? What the hell? And to be honest, like, I'm kind of on her side here. Like, I feel like she does have a couple of complaints to be made, even though, yeah, I mean, it's douchey. It's like a very asshole thing to do, but like, he doesn't really owe her anything. He can just leave, like, that's, but yeah, they're fighting, and he's just like, shut up, shut the. I'm gonna do my best impression of him in this scene, this Academy Award winning performance. Shut up, shut the fuck up, just shut up, okay? God, you just keep talking. Like, shut the fuck up for a second. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Like, what are you doing? Okay, like, it's over. Like, listen, I'm getting calls. You see my phone? I'm getting calls on my phone. I need to answer my phone. I'm getting calls. I have to go on tour. Okay, like, what do you want me to say here? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice, and you're making me be the bad guy here. Can't you see them trying to be nice right now? Like we need to end this. Like, just let me end it. Like, don't make me the bad guy here. But, like, this is over. Like, so just you need to fucking relax. You need to fucking chill and just let me go. Okay, like, just shut the fuck up. Sorry, I wasn't even half as funny as he was in that scene, but, like, he's so funny in that scene. Like, him getting mad. Anytime he gets mad or tries to be, like, a tough guy or act tough, It doesn't help that like he's trying to act tough in front of this like 90-pound 18-year-old girl who kicks his ass, by the way. Like, oh, that was so funny too. So like he basically tells her to fuck off, like, I'm just gonna leave you now, bye. And he turns around, and what she does, she just picks up a vase and she just like knocks him over the head and like knocks him out. I'm like, yes. I didn't see that coming. Like, what I saw coming was a couple of things. Like, so again, maybe if a smart person had written this movie, Jenna had a couple options here. So, and we saw this like earlier in the movie, that she's really good at like manipulating or twisting things. Where like, you know, how'd she get past the security guard? Well, she said that another guy grabbed her or touched her, and so she's really good at playing that angle. Where like, well, okay, this situation, for example, what could she do here? Two things immediately spring to mind. One thing, she could say, oh, I think the condom broke, or I think I might be pregnant. She never tries to pull that card on him. The other thing she could have pulled, because honestly, it's Jenna Ortega. I don't know how old she is in real life. I think she's like 20, but she looks very young. She looks like she could, and she constantly does play a teenager on shows and stuff. But she could have played that card. Like, I'm shocked she didn't play that card, where she's like, yeah, you don't know me at all. You never asked to see my license or anything. Like, I'm 16, bro. Like, you just banged a 16-year-old. You're going to jail. I'm going to accuse you of RAPE, and you have a huge fucking problem on your hands unless you take me on tour with you. Like what's he going to do? Like, what's he going to say to that? You know, like, I'm very shocked she didn't play that card or that angle. I mean, that would have created a whole new subplot, and I guess the movie didn't want to have to deal with any of that. But, like, I don't know. Like, I thought about it for, like, 5 seconds, and I came up with that. I'm really shocked that she didn't at least try that card or something. I don't know. But, like, he could have been freaked out, like, let me see your license. Like, I don't think you're 16. She's like, I don't have a license. I'm 16. I don't know. But yeah, no, instead she just uses the brute force. She just picks up a vase and, like, clocks him over the head, like, one shot. Boom. Yeah, he's out. Again, real tough guy. Gets taken out by, like, a 90-pound girl. But anyway. So he wakes up tied to the bed, and, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm skipping over something very important. So remember how in the trailer there were all these, like, really interesting visuals, and it kind of looked like a horror movie at times. That's and how I said how, like, some scenes were just filmed for the trailer. This is another one of those times where, so he's been, like, doing all these drugs, and he he got knocked out, so now he has these, like, visions or nightmares or something where he's just in hell now, and he like, there's all these things that, like, none of it matters. Like he's just unconscious, and then he wakes up. Like, that's it. Like, nothing actually matters plot wise, but, like, they wanted these, like, you know, interesting visuals for the trailer, let's say. So there's a scene where he's, like, in an elevator by himself, and it's all dark, and something's, like, approaching him, and there's, like, a cool shot with him, like, his reflection in all of these, like, mirrors, you know, in the elevator, but, like, it doesn't go anywhere. There's a scene where he walks up to this huge fucking bonfire, and there's, like, a little kid sitting there, and he turns, and the little kid turns, and they like, lock eyes for a very long time, for, like, several minutes, and I'm like, okay, and, you know, and I'm like, was that, you know, maybe ex-girlfriend had a baby, and it's his baby, and maybe that's the child that he's imagining? Or, like, what I read was, like, people were saying, like, no, that's him as a child. He's seeing himself as a child. Okay, why? For what reason? To what end? Never explained, never goes back to it. He also goes to, like, this dark room where there's a woman that's, like, all huddled up, and she looks like Sadako from The Ring, and he, like, asks her, like, oh, you know, ma'am, are you okay? And he, like, slowly approaches her, and then she, like, freaks out, and she, like, starts, you know, spider crawling up the walls and shit, and again, it turns into, like, a horror movie for a second. I have no idea who that was. It's never explained. And then the scene just kind of ends, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, what was that? That was just a cool shot for the trailer. Okay, thanks. You know, fuck you. I'm gonna wrap this up soon. It's already approaching an hour, but oh my lord, yeah. This was crazy. I hated this. Yeah. So, like, you know, you have the term. I would describe movies like this. I think I would clump the Barry Keoghan movies. There's this movie. There's Saltburn that he also was in. So there's the term, like, wet dream. No, these are wet nightmares. I don't know if that's already a term. I'm gonna coin that term now. So yeah, Hurry Up Tomorrow and Saltburn. They're erotic nightmares or wet nightmares. I'm coining that term. That is the perfect term to describe this experience of a movie. You're scared, and it's also supposed to be kind of sexual, but it's, like, just a disaster and a mess and a nightmare. And okay, anyway, So he wakes up. He had all his visions. None of it meant anything. He wakes up tied to the bed. Jenna Ortega is playing his pop music. She is wearing a very revealing, low-cut top, and she's like dancing around, and her boobs are bouncing up and down, and he's tied to the bed, and I'm like, I've had this dream before. I've had this dream before. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That's inappropriate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm sorry, Jenna. I'm sorry, Emma. That was an inappropriate joke. I'm sorry. But yeah, Abel wakes up tied to the bed, and he's like, what the hell's going on? And she's like, I'm wondering that myself. So she's like, listen, I'll let you go, but like, here's what's up. I came here to help you because you were how did she know any of this? Like, has she been following him on TV or something? Like, how did she? But she's like, I know how broken up you are about your ex and how you're self-destructive now and doing all these drugs and you're just lashing out and you're just hurting all the people around. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting all the people around you. It has to stop. It has to stop. And she knows so much about him because she understands his lyrics, you see. His lyrics are so deep and personal and emotional, and she gets it. Like, she's the one. She's the super fan that gets it. Did his lyrics tell you to burn down your mother's house? Like, I was waiting for her to blame him, put that on him. No, she never really grapples with that at all, actually. But at least she doesn't, like, blame that on his lyrics. Oh, your music told me to do that. Anyway. Yeah, so she's like, you have to, like, talk to me and tell me what's going on, what's bothering you. You have to tell me the truth. You have to tell me your truth. And he's like, no, fuck you. Let me go. And that's how that argument is for, like, several minutes. He's just like, tell me your truth. No, fuck you. Let me go. All right, well, tell me your truth. No, fuck you. Let me go. Well, I'll let you go after you talk to me. No, let me go first. Fuck you. Let me go. And that it's like two little kids arguing. Like, nothing is being accomplished here. It's just torture. I'm being tortured. He's being tortured, and I'm being tortured at the same, But she's like, okay, here's what, So she plays, I shit you not, she plays the album, Hurry Up Tomorrow. In the movie, Hurry Up Tomorrow, she has the album, and she plays his music for him, and she does this, like, sexy little dance, and she's wearing this low-cut top, and, like, I feel like this was, because the show went viral because of the Wednesday dance that she did, and I feel like they were like, yeah, Jenna, like, we know you dance, like, we know you, that like, goes viral when you dance, so, like, do a not like an emo goth dance, but do like an inverse, like a peppy dance, like a pop dance, but do like a pop dance inversion of the Wednesday dance, and that's what she does. She like really like flips around and grabs the side of the bed and is like doing all this stuff, and like it's kind of hypnotic, to be honest. But like it's something, but like like what is going on right now, and like she's just playing his music for him, and then she talks to him and she says, like, it's so condescending and aggravating and annoying, because she's like, this is what, like, if you, like, these songs seem like fluff at first, but if you really listen to the lyrics, you're talking about all of these deep themes about abandonment and loneliness and things that, like, are universal to the human condition. And he's just like tied up. He's like, no. And it's like, it's clearly exposition for the audience because we're too dumb. You see, the Weeknd thinks we're too dumb to get his deep lyrics. Like, we don't get him. He needs to explain it to us. So Jenna Ortega needs to explain it to us, but it doesn't make sense in context. It would make more sense if she was, like, explaining it to her mother or someone else, like, oh, like, you don't get it, Mom. You don't get how deep he is. But, like, why would she ever need to explain his own lyrics to him? Like, don't you think he it's like, it's so annoying. It doesn't make any sense. It's a fucking waste of time. It's torture. And, like, she's literally torturing him, but because he's like, he won't say, like, he won't, like, agree, or he won't say anything about the song, like, what it means to him. She's like, what inspired the song? Was it your ex? He's like, no, I won't tell you. And she's like, all right, well, we'll just go on to track 2 then. And he's like, no. And it's like maybe that was symbolic of, like here, The Weeknd represents the audience, because we're being tortured the same way that he's being tortured. Because when she plays another song, I was saying this. I was also saying the same thing. I was like, no, not another song, please, Jenna, please, not another song. I get it. I get how deep he is. I get it. I swear. I don't want to listen to more of this music. And so she plays, I swear to fucking God, like 4 tracks, because he keeps on. And like, that's where I wanted to kill him too, because he's like, just fucking talk to her. Like, he's like, no, I won't. Well, then she's gonna play another song. Now I have to listen to another song. Just fucking tell her what's going on. Tell me what's going on. And he's just like, no, I won't talk. Just let me go. And she's like, all right, track number 4. And I'm like, no. And this is a point where, again, there's only 3 people in the theater, but like if there had been like more people in the theater, I think people would have left at this point early, because we're almost at the end, but like no, like this scene was uncomfortable, like for a lot of reasons, but like because it kept going on and on. But also, again, there's like this skeevy side to it where, again, like The Weeknd, he's at least 15 or 20 years older than Jenna Ortega, and he's already slept with her in a scene, and now he's like tied to the bed. It's like really, it has these really like icky vibes, man. Like he's tied to the bed, and it's like kind of sexual, and she's just wearing this really low cut top, and she's like jumping up and down, and it's just like, and again, her face, like she looks so young. She looks like 16 maybe, you know what I mean? Like the whole scene is just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel comfortable. Like this, I feel like I'm about to get in trouble for watching this. You know what I mean? It's just like I could see people like walking out the door at this. It's too late. Everyone already walked out. The first concert scene, 2 people walked out. But like, yeah, this would have lost even more people. Anyway, thank Christ, the manager finally finds him by tracking his phone and is like knocking on the door, and Jenna's just like, go away, but he won't go away, and she finally like opens the door, and he like breaks it down, and they scuffle, and it's like, again, it's unintentionally funny, but it's like, she tries to put up a fight. She like pulls a knife on him, but he just kind of like smacks her. Like he's like a 200-pound dude. She's like a 90-pound girl. He like instantly takes her down. He's just like, just calm down. He's not trying to hurt her, but she's attacking him, and she just kind of grabs her and like slams her. And he's like, yeah, just shut up, like sit down. Like let me rescue my friend. Like, but she really puts up a fight. Like after he tries to like leave her alone, but she keeps like throwing shit at him, and he's like, all right, This is where it went too far for me, where it's like, so I mean, he could have just like tied her up or knocked her out. He like really starts to beat her up, and he starts to strangle her and starts to kill her. And I'm like, what the hell? And that's when she pulls like the shard of glass or something, and she like gets him in the neck. And so she just like murdered a man. Okay, she just killed someone, and and he Abel doesn't really react. I mean, he's upset, but it's not like, oh, you just killed like my literal one friend, like this guy who said we were like brothers. He's just kind of like a little upset about it. He's not like, anyway, so she just killed him, and she goes back into the room, and then she starts pouring gas. Oh, I freaked out. I lost my shit, because it's implied to be, she has this like gas tank. That's how she burns down her house at the beginning of the movie. It's implied to be the same. She brought the same fucking gas canister to the hotel room, because she brings up the same gas canister, and she starts dousing The Weeknd in gas, and she's gonna light him on fire and kill him too, because he won't tell her truth or whatever. And I'm like, does she just carry a canister of gas around? Like, what the fuck? Like, this movie's fucking terrible. Anyway. And then people pointed out to me that I read that, like, because one of his songs on the track is Gasoline. I'm like, oh, how clever, how cheeky. She's pouring gasoline on him. Okay. Anyway, so his whole like whatever, his solution. He's like, wait, don't light me on fire. Wait, and then so he sings a song, and I kid you not, the song is like, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Jenna. I'm sorry, everyone. It's like that. It's like something he clearly just thought of in like 5 seconds, and she's just so moved by it, and she's like, all right, I won't kill you after all, and she unties him and lets him go. But then she still lights the hotel room on fire. She still does that, and then he walks away, and then he's just suddenly back at the concert, backstage, and he's like getting prepped. And when he walks out of the hotel room, by the way, and it's like on fire, she's just gone. She's just nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, whatever. So what about like the mom trying to find her? What about the house being burned down? Like what happened? Did she go back to the mom? Like what happened? She's homeless, and he wouldn't take her in either. So like, what happens to Jenna Ortega? Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter. The movie's over. Yeah, it just ends with him getting ready for the next show. Yeah, this movie was awful. So the only thing the only thing that like makes any kind of sense, I've seen this theory, and I don't like it, but I've seen this theory that kind of holds some credence with me. So Jenna's character may have never been real. She may have been like a figment of his imagination, or part of his like subconscious or psyche or whatever. I think that's what maybe the movie was going for. And I hate that idea, but like that's kind of the only thing that makes any kind of sense. And also, Jenna's, I don't think her name is said in the movie, but I looked in the credits and it said her character's name was Anima, which is like a blatant reference to Jungian psychology. That'd be like naming a character in a movie Superego. And it's like, oh, so I read something about Sigmund Freud, so like my character's name is Superego. So look how smart I am. That's again the Weeknd trying to be smart. Yeah, her character's name is Anima, and long story short, that's like the feminine traits that a man is trying to suppress or something, but in order to achieve growth, he needs to kind of grapple with them or whatever. It's like his repressed psychological traumas and shit, and I think it relates to the mother and stuff like that. There's a whole thing there. So like Jenna obviously represented something to him, and he had to kind of like, you know, talk to her, and he had to like, you know, like come to a realization or come to a resolution with her in order to move on with his life and blah blah blah. I don't care, and it also doesn't make sense because this twist would only make sense if they did like a Sixth Sense type of thing where like, we'll see, like, you know, she wasn't real, she was just part of his imagination the whole time, she never interacted with anyone else. But that's not true. She was a real person. Like, that doesn't make sense because we saw her in scenes where he wasn't there. We saw her burn down the mother's house. We saw the mother freaking out and trying to call her, so she was real. We saw her murder Barry Keoghan. Where's Barry Keoghan? She did murder him. She burned down the hotel room. She killed him. So she is real. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. That can't be the interpretation. Okay? She was real. Oh my God. Yeah. This has gone on long enough. I don't even. And I have to mention, it's like, yeah, he's horrible. Abel's horrible because like Jenna has a line where she's like, and again, she knows things that she so maybe she was just part of his psyche the whole time because she knows things that she shouldn't be able to know. Somehow she knows about the girlfriend. She knows about. She's like, this is what you do. Like I was just a number to you. And she's like going through his phone. She's like, oh, I'm number. I forget what she said, but she's like, I'm number. You do this with girls. You don't even remember their names. Do you even remember my name? And he doesn't. And she's like, they're just a number to you. Like, what are you on now? 126 or So somehow she knows that. So like maybe she was a part of his mind or something. Like I don't know. But then, I mean, that would kind of make sense in context of like how unrealistically she was in love with his music. Or I feel like the movie should have been a little more tongue in cheek. If there were some funny scenes where like he's like, oh, like you're in love with my music, so am I. Like we have so much in common. Or like, oh, you love me, I love me. But we have so much in common. We should hang out. Like, oh my God. It's so bad, and I'm like, I don't know what the point of this was, because like obviously it's a vanity project. It's the Weeknd trying to like, convince us of how talented and how tortured and how deep and complex he is and how important his music is. But like if he is playing himself, like like he must realize, or I hope he realizes that like you are presenting yourself as such a unlikable, irredeemable asshole. That's a weird decision on your part. Like you would think you would want to make yourself look good. This movie does not make you look good, bro. It makes you look very, very bad. It makes you look like an obsessive, crazy stalker who is just like won't leave this poor woman alone, who uses and abuses Jenna Ortega, treats her like shit, treats everyone like shit, ruins his own life. That's the only like tiny revelation at the end is like, oh, like maybe I'm the toxic person. Maybe it's not the women that are toxic. Because, like, all 126 women couldn't have been toxic. Maybe I'm the toxic factor here. Okay. It took you 2 fucking hours to realize that. And are you going to demonstrate that you are changing? I want a demonstration that you are changing in some way, sir. And you didn't. Oh, my Lord. The music was fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, score-wise, I forget what I gave Borderlands. I forget what I gave Madam Web, but like I'd put it on that level. It's like a 1. It's like a 1 out of 10. Everything's awful. The only reason I give it any credit at all is, again, the cinematography was A tier. There were a few talented people who were working on this movie who should have been working on much better project, more important projects. Abel's music is pretty catchy. I like some of his tracks. So even though this movie was like a shameless advertisement for his album, which I will never buy just because of how much I hate this movie. I'll never buy that album. But like, yeah, some of his music it was catchy, you know. So there's that. Like, there's a couple scenes I'm like, oh well, I get to listen to some cool music at least, you know. That was ironically the scene that the couple walked out on, the concert scene. I'm like, no, like this song is kind of a bop. Like this, I like this song. Jenna Ortega, I mean, all the characters suck. No one's likable. Everyone's a horrible person. I like, she's the closest to being a likable character. I mean, I hesitate. I don't know if I liked her performance because her character is also kind of awful. But she any direction she was given, like, she did it well. Like, she's a much better actor than fucking The Weeknd. Like, when she has to cry, it's convincing. When she, you know, is distraught or whatever, or grappling with internal conflict, like, you know, you see it on her face, and like, she's good at that. And, you know, it was weird, but like, and it was very against type, but like, she did that peppy dance when she listened to his pop music, and I liked it, I think, but it was clearly just her trying a little too hard to be like, see, I'm not just Wednesday, I can do the opposite kind of dance too. I don't know. I digress. But yeah, this has gone long enough. Hurry up tomorrow. If you can find it on streaming, it's funny. Like, watch it with friends to make fun of, like The Room. But yeah, don't see it in the theater. It's a 1 out of 10. It's definitely on my short list of worst movie of 2025. There's no way any movie can beat this movie as far as worst movie of 2025. Like, this is the worst movie of the year right here. So yeah.